Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today is Wednesday, August 31st. Welcome to my comic shop in North Kingsville, Ohio.
This is Captain's Comics, Toys, and this just in.
Your 11 o'clock comic shop news. I am your host, Rykus, and as always,
Dr. Ben, local cartoonist and kayfabe fanatic.
how's your week been so far?
It's been pretty good. I've been making comics. I've been working on my YouTube channel. I just had concluded the second part of my Swamp Thing discussion with my friend Sam.
You doing the Swamp Thing with Alan Moore and all that?
Yeah, we talked about volume 1 of the saga of the Swamp Thing. We went kind of like a deep dive in it. We put it under the microscope and just talk about what our favorite parts in it are, different aspects that stick out to us.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's pretty fun. Sam's a pretty insightful guy. He's so glad to be able to do something with him. So.
All right. Yeah, I've been working on my local comic book section for the locals, showcasing each individual local talent that we have that I'm able to stock in store, and it's looking really cool. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, you've got people from everywhere around here. The tri-state area. You've got Erie. You've got Pennsylvania. You got down in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Columbus.
Yeah, I've got some stuff from your K-Fabs in Pittsburgh. I got Ted Secor from Cleveland. In Erie, we have several of local talents, including Daniel Dewing, Mark Welser, and
Brandon Staroki.
Yeah.
With the Avalon comic.
Just now, he'll be here in the 11th of September to do a signing for his new release issue 2.
That's true. I forgot about that.
So that's going to be cool. But most recently, I've been stocking and getting ready for this week's new comics.
Well, you know what I'm excited about is Gambit #2, because Chris Claremont back writing the X-Men, and it's Gambit and Ro on the lam and off the rails. Ro is the mutant that we know as Storm, but this is her and Gambit. This is like a previous tale, where they're both younger. Gambit hasn't become an X-Men yet. Storm hasn't become an X-Men. They're running around. They're mutants. They're thieves, and they're having a blast.
I love that classic Chris Claremont run. That's when I really got hooked onto the X-Men comics, and just to see him develop in those characters, that's got to be something cool.
Yeah, getting to go back and tell some of the stories he wanted to tell before young Gambit and Storm. What's not to love about that?
Yeah, they match together pretty well.
What are you looking at in Marvel this week?
I'm excited about the Amazing Fantasy issue 1000.
1000.
1000. They're celebrating this in a big, spectacular way. They have several artists, Neil Gaiman being one of them.
Neil Gaiman's going to be in.
Kurt Busiek, Jonathan Hickman.
Ochi Anderson is in there drawing some pictures of Spider-Man.
Todd Nuck. We can sit here for at least 10 more minutes labeling off more of these artists, but it's going to be a really cool extravaganza, and it's pretty much celebrating Peter Parker and Spider-Man's birthday. Just kind of.
You know who else just had a birthday just recently?
Who's that?
The King of Comics, Jack Kirby. August 28th was his birthday. He would have been 105 years old, and he's pretty much half of what created Marvel.
Yeah.
So,
that's really something. That's kind of cool. I love my Jack Kirby comics.
Yes.
What else are you excited about?
The other thing I'm excited about in Marvel, where is it here? Oh, it's Thunderbolts. They're starting a new Thunderbolts series. This is issue 1 of 5, written by Jim Zub with art by Sean Izakis. Superpowered crooks have taken hostages in Staten Island. A dimensional rift tears open in Chinatown. Monsters are running amok at the Met. Call in the thunder. New York City's finest are here to save the day. We've got Hawkeye, Spectrum, America Chavez, Power Man, Persuasion, and Guts and Glory. I'm not sure who Guts and Glory is, but that's his. Gutson is his first name, so
Oh, huh.
I have to check that out. But they're the current incarnation of the Thunderbolts. This takes place in the aftermath of Devil's Reign. Big Apple has some big problems, and it's up to this new group of Thunderbolts to turn things around. But Clint Barton is being tasked with heading up the team, proving that they can go toe-to-toe with anything the Marvel Universe can throw at them. But the first opponent he's going to have to face is himself.
Ooh.
So I'm interested to see that. Clinton Barton, Hawkeye always seems like just a natural go-to to fit in with Thunderbolts. So
Yeah.
interesting.
I think he started the first Thunderbolts, or maybe his rivalry.
Yes, he's been in. Well, it's a touchy subject, the origins of the Thunderbolts and me. So the less said, the better. But what are you thinking about the new issue of Deadpool? I know you're a big Deadpool fanatic.
I really, okay, this is going to cause some controversy out there, but I really like Rob Liefeld's work. Not all of it, some of it's kind of weird, but I mean, people just like to nitpick at him, and I mean, I just grew up in the heyday of Image Comics and when it first came out, and I just looked up to a lot of the creators, and you know, Rob Liefeld being one of them, and this is his final issue on Deadpool. I think this concludes the series up, actually. It's going to be the secret history of Thumper had been revealed, but now Wade Wilson knows the massive masked man's motivations. Wow. Try saying that 10 times fast. Whose side is Garrison Kane on? And why is Wade Wilson fighting Domino? Aren't they friends? I mean, wow. That's going to be crazy.
I mean, Rob Liefeld coming back to, his baby, really. Deadpool's like his child, is
Oh,
I
yeah.
always think of him. I mean, I'm with you, like, definitely Rob Liefeld coming out with X-Force, #1. I was there getting the bag comic. I mean,
Oh, yeah, with the cards. What
I
card did you get?
had Shatterstar.
Yeah.
He had that sword with 2 blades on it and, like, ponytails and that weird head thing.
I had the X-Force team.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I don't think I didn't know what it was back then. I just picked up a comic and there was a card inside.
I knew it was Rob Liefeld. I knew that, like, he had done the New Mutants, and that was supposed to be really good, but it was gone. But now he was back with X-Force.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been a fan of Rob since then. I mean,
It's weird how the community split like that. Oh well,
Yeah.
each their own.
yeah. Pro Rob is my stance. So that's where I end up.
You still reading the X's?
Yeah, I got. He did a Cable book, I think it was, or no, he did an X-Force book. Like, I think it was last year, where it was him writing and drawing it. I got that. Like, it's fun stuff. Something I'm always happy with him. Also from Marvel this week, we have Fortnite X Marvel Zero War issue 4 is out. Thunderbolts Marvel Tales #1 is out, which is kind of like a reprint of some of those earlier Thunderbolts stories, showing when they initially started back with Mark Bagley drawing them. Iron Fist 5 is out. Mech Strike Monster Hunters #3 is out. X-Force 31 and X-Force 14 are both out this week, and they're both tie-ins to that A.X.E crossover event, Avengers, X-Men, Eternals. They both take part in that. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi issue 4 or 5 is out. The Variants #3 is out. Wild Cards, The Drawing of Cards issue 2 is out. And Ant-Man issue #2 is out as well. All from Marvel this week. Do you have any indie books you're excited about?
Well, actually, you know how I mentioned I was a big Image fan when it first came out, and Eric Larson was doing Savage Dragon.
Right.
Well, now he's doing a spin-off series from Savage Dragon after he bought the copyrights of Ant from Mario Gully.
Yes.
Like maybe it seems like 8 years ago he did that, and there hasn't been an Ant comic book since then. And now it's on issue 5. You know, so it's concluding the team up of Ant, Spawn, and Savage Dragon.
And Savage Dragon, Spawn, and
What a trifecta there. It's going to be the conclusion of the crossover. They're going to take you into the streets of New Mexico.
should be pretty fun. It's like the Holy Trinity there: Spawn, Savage Dragon, and Ant.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Todd McFarlane, a little bit of Spawn. I don't think he did any of the artwork, but
No.
Spawn is Todd.
Yeah, I always appreciate Eric Larson's artwork. I mean, he's just a solid. And the fact that he is stuck with Dragon.
Yes, that's
Him, it's just him writing and drawing it all this time. It's hats off to the guy.
yeah. If you didn't have Josh Eckborn slowing him down all the time.
Well, I'm going to move on to, I'm excited about Red Sonja number 12. I don't want to get into the, not getting canceled over Savage Dragon.
Oh no, Josh Eckborn. It's an inside joke.
Yeah. Red Sonja number 12 is the final issue of this limited series, written by Mirka Andolfo with art by Giuseppe Cafaro. The demon Zemuel is free at last, and the high priestess of the cult is determined to harness her power. And in this final chapter, Red Sonja prepares to face the last battle for Sitha's life. So, I mean, I'm always just, anything in that kind of Conan, extended universe, Red Sonja, Conan, any of that stuff I'm always pretty much down for, so I'm excited about that.
Always been a Torok fan.
Turok, I'm always...
I think it was a video game in the 90s that did it for me.
It was the Bart Sears art that drew me in myself. That was...
I'm excited about Ravenloft campaign setting of Dungeons & Dragons by IDW. Orphan of Agony Isle issue 3. It centers around a character named Miranda, and her situation in Sklas Mornheim becomes a bit too extreme. She's got to choose between a doctor she knows and a doctor she doesn't. I mean, what's she going to choose?
Right, sounds fun.
Yeah.
IDW has also got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Best of Baxter Stockman one-shot. This is 100 pages of the inventor, the mad genius, the cutthroat businessman, the villain, the hero, the one-time mutant fly. He's even been the mayor of New York City. Most importantly, he's never ever boring. This is Baxter Stockman at his very best.
I like his inventions of the Mausers.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You never quite know what you're getting. Is he gonna be on your side this time? Is he gonna be sicking the Mausers on you? I'm excited. It's a one-shot, 100 pages.
Nice.
It's fun stuff.
For other independent comics, we have Hellcop number 10, Power Rangers Untold Death Ranger number 1, Grim Fairy Tales number 63, House of Slaughter number 8, Doctor Who Origins number 4, Mad Balls vs. Garbage Pail Kids number 1. This is going to be the metal trading card variant exclusive. Star Trek Picard Stargazers number 1, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 297, and Transformers Shattered Glass 2 number 1.
All right. And we're gonna have now my friend Manny. He's a writer from down in Florida. We have a new part of the show that we're calling A Closer Look with Manny Gomez.
All right, let's take a look.
Let's take a look, Manny.
Hey guys, my name is Manny Gomez, and I'm here to talk to you about 2 comics that I read this week that I absolutely loved. But before I get into the actual books, I do want to thank Dr. Ben, Rykus, and the shop Captain's Comics Toys End for giving me this chance. So the first book I want to talk to you about is Deadly Class number 55 by Rick Remender, Wes Craig, Lee Loridge, and Russ Wooten. if you haven't been reading Deadly Class, it's been going on for about, maybe 8, 9 years now. And it's hard to tell, close to a decade. It's on issue 55, so you guys can do the math. Anyway, this is actually the second to last issue. So issue 56, the next one, is going to conclude the series for good. So what we're getting here is like the next to the last chapter. What's been interesting about these last few issues and this last arc for Deadly Class is that each issue has taken a significant time jump in the storyline. So whereas the comic, when it first started, was set like in the mid 80s, the characters were all teenagers and they were into punk rock, hardcore, going to a school of assassins. I mean, I don't need to tell you what the book's about. You can probably find it online. And there was an actual TV series done by the Sci-Fi Network that lasted one season that was also very good. So if you want to get what the series is about, you can check it out. But what made this last issue so interesting is that the time jump finally brought the characters in the comic into today. So this issue takes place in a post-pandemic world. And we're seeing the characters clearly in middle age, sort of dealing with their past, dealing with their present, and of course, how we're all doing now and we don't know where the world's going, dealing with their future. This was probably a kind of a risky move, I think, for the comic, because it was so rooted and so comfortable in its 80s setting, using music and pop culture references of that era, that it became part of the comic's DNA. So when these time jumps started happening, it seemed a little off-putting at first, but now that it's ending, I'm starting to see why the comic decided to do this, and I am absolutely loving it. You're getting to see these characters sort of age almost in real time in a weird way. So it's allowing you to see them grow, change, and the ones that haven't changed don't, while still keeping a very clear Thor line that you can trace back to the very first issue. Deadly Class has got to be one of my favorite books of the last 10 years. And, I'm sad to see it go, but I'm real happy with the way that Rick Remender and the rest of the creative team are ending it. It's fantastic. It's emotional. It's action-packed. It's still funny. Honestly, you guys need to be reading Deadly Class. You should go back, get the trades, start reading it, because it's great. It's going to end, and it's going to be one of those books that is probably going to be like an evergreen kind of classic, and it's completely worth your time. So if you haven't gotten Deadly Class number 55, please do so. It might not be the best place to start, but it's still a good read regardless, because Rick Remender is a good enough writer to give you something to work with, even if you don't know a lot. But if you've been reading this book from the start, these last few issues, and this one in particular, is going to hit very hard, and it's just a very well executed comic, and something that I am very, very happy to read, even though I'm also sad to read it because I know the series is ending. So that's one of my picks of the week. Now, my other book is actually a brand new book. It's called Minor Threats, and it's put out by Dark Horse Comics. Now, Minor Threats is written by Patton Oswalt, the comedian that we all know and love, and he's co-writing it with Jordan Blum, who I believe was a writer that he worked with on his MODOK series for Hulu. The art on Minor Threats is by Scott Hepburn, the colors are by Ian Herring, and the letters are by Nate Pecos. Minor Threats, from what I understand, is based on a pitch that Patton did for DC Comics, where he wanted to tell a story using some of the Batman C and D list villains and set it in Gotham City. Now, for whatever reason, I guess that pitch didn't pan out, so it seems that Patton and his creative team reworked it, created their own sort of analog characters for some of the more well-known DC and Batman villains, and started telling their story. So basically, in this first issue, we're introduced to a character named Playtime, who is trying to go straight. She's given up being a villainous duo with her mother. She was part of a duo called the Toy Queen and Playtime. And Playtime, she's trying to go straight. She's got a job bartending at a bar that a lot of ex-villains hang out with, and most of the people that seem to go to this bar, a lot of them, they're trying to change their life. But primarily it's Playtime. She's got a daughter, an ex-husband. She's trying to get her life straight, trying to make it go clear. When all of a sudden, the Stickman, who is the analog for the Joker in this world, murders Kid Dusk, who is this world's Robin. Kid Dusk is the sidekick of the Insomniac, and the Insomniac is the analog for Batman. So what this murder does, is it throws the city into complete chaos. The analog for the Justice League, and there's characters based on Superman. Like, it's very obvious who the characters are supposed to be, so it makes it pretty easy to pick up and read. They're all going crazy. The Insomniac has gone insane. He's trying to find a stickman, and he's murdering villains left and right. He's gone off the deep end. Now Playtime is freaking out because she's getting pulled into this while she's trying to go straight. So in order to sort of try and do something about it, she goes to the bar she works at. She gathers a bunch of her ex-villain friends and some of the real C, D, E, and even F list villains, and they decide they're going to band together, find the stickman, and kill him so that all this madness can stop. I really loved Minor Threats. It's probably my favorite book that I picked up this week, and I can't recommend it enough. It's clearly a love letter to comics. The fact that the creative team obviously knows about comics is very clear. Patton's love for the medium is very clear. And it's a book that if you're even slightly familiar with any of the basic sort of like rogues gallery that Batman has, you can pick up and read. The art is fantastic. The colors are great. It moves at a great clip. And it's really it's a good book. And it's not one of these books that's resting on the laurels of having been written by a celebrity. A lot of celebrities lately have been trying to get into the comics game, and some of them are hit, some of them are miss. Minor Threats is definitely a hit and should be in and on everybody's pull list. So go out and get it. So there you go, folks. Those are 2 books that I love this week. 2 books that you should be reading. Deadly Class number 55. Minor Threats number 1. Deadly Class is put out by Image Comics. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it is. And Minor Threats is put out by Dark Horse. Both great publishers, putting out great books, great alternatives to the big 2 if you don't want to read that stuff. I do. I love all comics. These are just 2 that I'm recommending. I could recommend much more. But these 2 are probably the best and the most that I enjoyed this week, so I wanted to share it with you and the world. So once again, go out there, read comics, buy comics, support comics. And again, thanks Rykus, thanks Dr. Ben for allowing me to talk about some of these books. And I can't wait to come back next week and talk to you about a couple of more books. So yeah, I'll see you Wednesday Warriors at the comic shop. Keep reading comics, read more comics, right?
All right, so that was Manny Gomez, writer for monkeysfightingrobots.com. And I was pretty excited about Deadly Class number 55. Maybe I haven't read any of the other issues, but
It was really cool, and it's got a TV show now on I believe Netflix, maybe.
really, right on.
And we still have that copy that he was talking about on the shelves right now.
I was also really excited about that Minor Threats he was talking about, written by Patton Oswalt. Mainly because I'm kind of like on the Oswalt train because he's portraying Pip the Troll.
Yeah.
Going forward in the Marvel universe, so I'm a fan. I'm a Patton fan now.
Yeah, I was just talking about Damage Control number 1 last week about the Goldbergs, and I think he did the voiceover of the father,
Right on.
or the Adam's adult voice.
I see it all.
So that's kind of circles around.
It all comes together there. I like that. All right, well, this was another good show. A bunch of good comics to look for on the stands.
Where can we find more of Manny's stuff?
Manny's on. He's on monkeysfightingrobots.com. I'll have the link down below, and go check him out. He writes a lot of reviews and interviews. He's always got an interesting perspective from Manny. So.
All right. We'll look forward to the next segment.
All right. Till next time.
Bye.